Your tank should be free of leaks and have a strong and supported bottom. So what I mean by that is we don't want to have any false bottoms. You want the bottom of the tank to be able to support and withstand the weight of the water and the shell that's going to be sitting in that tank. The tanks can be circular, they can be rectangular. The shape is not what's critical here, but rather the integrity of that tank and making sure, again, that it doesn't have any leaks and that it can withstand the weight and the pressure of the water and the shell that will be inside of it while you're setting. Tanks should drain completely from the bottom. So ideally, you're looking for a tank that has a slightly recessed drain, not a beveled drain. And the tank should be positioned on a level and flat surface. And so that might require you to build a slightly elevated platform. And that's just to allow space for the 90-degree elbow that will be attached to the outside of the tank that will send water out to your drain, allowing the water to drain completely out of the tank. So a seawater pump will bring water to your tank. Now, ideally, the shortest draw possible is advantageous, and really all PVC connections and fittings should be glued, at least on the suction side, but preferably through your entire seawater manifold. Your pump should be stored indoors when you're not using it. So bring the pump out and get the connections set up in the spring when you're getting ready to set. And then when you're finished setting for the year, after the summer and early fall, go ahead and remove the infrastructure and store the pump inside just to keep it out of the elements and to extend the life of that pump. The intake valve should be cleaned periodically to ensure that biofouling hasn't colonized and restricted flow. And if applicable, to make sure that the mechanism that ensures that you can hold a prime is in working order. Now, this will slightly depend on which type of pump you use, but many pumps have a foot valve or a check valve at the terminal end of the intake line. And you just need to make sure that that check valve is in working order so that you can hold a prime with that pump. A union on the intake line will help to make routine maintenance much easier so that you'll be able to just unscrew that union and get a look at the check valve or the foot valve on the end of that intake line. If the site is in a particularly energetic location, meaning if you have a lot of wave action or if there are a lot of boats that go by and throw a wake at the site, you'll want to support that intake line by either sistering it to the pier or in some way just supporting it next to a stationary and sturdy dock or some other piling, just to keep that intake line from moving around too much as waves are coming in. The pump's filter basket should be regularly inspected and cleaned to keep clogs from forming. So as your pump is operating, you'll have algae and different types of fouling that will end up colonizing the filter basket. So periodically, you'll just need to take that out and clean it just to make sure that they're not impeding flow. Larvae require air in order to breathe, and this also helps to disperse larvae evenly throughout the tank, which will help to facilitate even settlement throughout the tank. The aerator or blower should be sized appropriately given the tank dimensions and the water volume. And you can check with the manufacturer regarding the aerator capacities and needs for your particular tank and the volume of water within that tank. The aerator should be situated above the tank's water line, and that's to avoid accidentally siphoning water through the air manifold and back into the blower. Additionally, adding a check valve at the top of the air manifold will help to keep water from siphoning, again, out of the tank and back into the blower. Holes are drilled into the manifold with an 1/8 to 1/4 inch drill bit, and they'll be spaced about a foot apart. And what this does is allows the air to circulate throughout the tank. Now, when you build the manifold, you'll build it so that it sends air to all areas of the tank, ensuring that there are no dead zones. You'll cap the end of each of the lines coming off of the manifold, and there's no need to glue the aeration pipes. The standpipe should fit snugly in the drain, and this will keep water from leaking out. Now, the height of the standpipe will be dictated by the height of the tank. So your standpipe should be just a few inches shorter than the tank walls. And a valve on the drain on the outside of the tank should open and close fully. Butterfly valves open and close fully, and these are very good for this particular purpose because they can also be cleaned if shell or other types of debris accumulate within the drain.